to another live stream. I haven't done one for a while, but you know, today I found some time on a Sunday night finally, and I just want to go back to my regular schedule. Be live streaming as frequently as before, but I'll try to be regular at least once a week. Today I'm actually going to continue working on a project which is a Python bot for booking something badminton courts, and it's actually something that it's a simple thing, but it actually shows you how to create a Hi everyone on the chat. Hi Jose. Thanks for waiting. Sorry for starting a bit late, but yeah. Yeah, so okay, let me just tune my settings here. Thanks for letting me know. Let me see if my music is making less loud. Maybe try to increase the volume of my microphone. With OBS, it's quite different now, so I need to get used to the new UI. Microphone, yeah, it's a bit soft. Maybe I'll just change the setting here. Is it better now? Or how does it sound now? Better now? Is it better? I have to hear myself. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me now. If it's not loud enough, I can still increase it, yeah? Let me know. It's a new microphone, it looks cool. Okay, so I'll try and explain what I've been up to in the past. I've started a YouTube series on how to create a Python bot from start to finish. And I started with this notebook, which I have here. Okay, the goal of this is not so much, I mean, the use case in this case is actually simple. I play badminton, I play sports, and quite often it's quite hard to book for an available place, right? And there's this website which I can go to and to book the badminton court, but it's actually not, you basically, you only have you can only book 5 days in advance, and you need to book it quickly, because as soon as like the slots basically show up, right, people will book it very quickly. Okay. And obviously, yeah, so the first one that gets it will, the first one that goes to the website will be able to book it. So the goal I have is to just create a simple Python bot that will check the availability like every hour or every 5 minutes. It doesn't matter, right? And then it will just give me an idea of what are the slots available for me to book. Right now, I'm not worried about booking it automatically. Maybe I'll implement that later, but for now, it's all about knowing the availability. Okay, you have a question about TensorFlow. I use TensorFlow in Windows. I don't need to use WSL2. Yeah, you can use the native in Windows. Yeah. Okay. That's the question about TensorFlow. Obviously, today I'm talking about Python bots, but I will go back to TensorFlow at some point. I have some plans for machine learning. Yeah, I want to continue on the project I have as well. Hopefully that'll be useful. All right, so okay, let me just show you what I have done in the past, and then we'll be able to see where we are going to start. Okay, this is the website itself, right? I've already logged in, and I can already do certain tasks like, you can see here in this notebook, which I'll share at some point. Something press here first. So it's like part of the notebook. Actually, it's supposed to give you an error. Selenium has also updated the libraries, right? So when I wrote this, there was this method called find element by XPath, but now there isn't one. So I need to correct that. I think the new syntax. Copy and paste error because someone has already reported it for sure. But there is a new version of the library and the methods have changed. I know this because I've been actually using Selenium as well recently at work as well, and I found out that they've changed some of the methods. To go. Selenium. You should just be looking at the APIs. Plus, see, okay. So this no longer works. The path here. This should still work. Just have to copy and paste this. So this is for the new API. Updated my library yet here. So I was confused just now because I know that there is a new library. If I update the Selenium WebDriver, it will ask me for a new syntax. So maybe I'm going to do that now because I'll have to do it eventually anyway. And you can see the new API changes, right? So I'm going to go. Can you actually see my screen? Should I just make it a bit bigger? To this, creating a naming conflict, it can be confusing sometimes. I'm just going to call it driver. Figure out where to find the import for this. Upgrade the API yet. Once I upgrade to the latest API, then I should be able to get all the imports easily. Not right now. Okay, so find element. Okay, driver dot. Should be able to do things. So I'm now in the. Okay, so I'm now in the booking screen. So I've gone further. So now I'm just going to run all the cells I had before. You can watch the videos if you want to know details about each cell. So that the website as well has changed since I last used it. Okay, I need to change all the references to WD to driver dot. Starting to do things. This months ago, but it still seems to work. here, so there's nothing available. This is about converting things into pandas and extracting all the availabilities for the next few days into a panda data frame. Nothing for today, that's why this is not showing anything. Okay. This is a method I defined in my last video to get the availability for a given date. Let's see if it worked. So I can get the availability for today, but there's nothing I know. Selenium. Okay, there's nothing. Okay, now this is about trying to learn how to use this date picker to select dates and get more availabilities. Here I show you how you can get the availabilities for the next, for like 5 days ahead or something. That should return some results. Okay, you can see. This is where it becomes really useful. When you know how to scrape a website, then you can gather information from it, and you can actually add value to the information by organizing it in a way that people need to have that information in, right? In this case, I'm just creating a tool that allows me to know when something is available before anyone else, right? So I can reserve it. Okay, so this method gives me a list of availability dates. So here you have the date, then you have the location. I can actually search for more than one location at the same time. Then the time when it's available, obviously 6 in the morning, that's too early for me, but I'm surprised. People actually go at 6 in the morning to play badminton and it's full. Or maybe this is actually not even valid, I don't know. But like you can see from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. we have slots, right? And then these are not available, these are available. Actually, one of the things that happens quite a lot, I go with the big groups, right? So it's not just like 4 people. 4 people is the number of people who can fit into a badminton court. I go like maybe with, maybe we are 8 people, then we need 2 courts. So what we need to always do is find a slot of time available, not just like any time, it has to have at least 2 slots available. So these are 2 courts. And then we all work, right? So we don't just go at 1 in the afternoon to play badminton. So we also have to specify the times that we want to play. For example, from, I don't know, 7 to 9 or something like that. Yeah. And then this is where I was going to go and improve this method. I wanted to make this method smarter so that we can filter by time, by some like more complicated constraints. And then once I have this method working, I can actually do a lot more. I can create a cron job of some sort running in Docker. I don't know if you used Docker before, but Docker is actually used everywhere now. You can actually create a cron job and then every hour or every 5 minutes you'll go and check for slots available, right? And then if it finds anything matching a criteria, then it can send a reminder or an email or something like that. Just continue this. I'm using pandas. Pandas is a library that is used for dealing with tables, and it's very useful. You can do lots of queries, and you can see here I'm already like filtering out any time slots which are fully booked already. Some deprecation here. See. It worked, but it's warning me that behavior is going to change in the future. Here I'm doing converting a data type, right? So instead of just having like text, I wanted to turn this into an integer so that I can actually do a query by the number of slots that I need. Yeah, it's quite useful. You can see here that we still have the data type is still object, so it's not yet completely right, but we can convert the data type for that column and then make it a numeric, and then it's more easy to make queries on it, right? As an integer. And I can do this type of queries. Like I can say, okay, I want to have slots where the availability is more than 3 slots. These time slots, they match our criteria. And then we can also filter by time. I finished this one, but the idea is you can find available slots within the time that you want, right? Earliest time is 8, for example, latest time 21. Yeah. I don't think I finished this, right? Did I? Maybe. If I did, I'm almost done actually, and that means I could convert this into you see what it actually does. The script will go to each day, and then it will extract all the data into tables, and then it will return me the result of running the query. So here, I think this method. This is just like I only started it, but I didn't complete it, right? And I didn't even convert this availability. Okay, for now I'm not worried about the number. Okay, slots is defaulting to 1. Okay, so I need to just work on this method now. Now I remember where it was. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to try and start with the number of slots, yeah? So I want to filter anything that's not, it doesn't obey the criteria that I have of the number of slots available, yeah? So I don't want anything fully booked, and I don't want anything under the number of slots that I have here. Okay, so I'm just going to recover that code that I have. Back into it's a method. Convert the data already here. I can actually just do it after, so I don't have to rewrite this code. All right, so what I'm doing, just applying this here. Okay. The frame. What they are. What I don't want to do is mess up my notebook, so I'm going to just copy and paste this method. I'm going to define it again because I want to be able to have this notebook in a sequence so that later on I can publish it. So let's do this. I'm going to redefine the function here. Okay, so Jose is saying that the next TensorFlow version 2.10 is the last TensorFlow release that will support GPU on native Windows. And starting with TensorFlow 2.11, you will need to install TensorFlow on in WSL2. Okay, that means you need to enable. You have to install Linux on Windows. It's not too bad. What I would say is that yes, you also need to install the probably the easiest way to use TensorFlow now is not to install it directly in Windows. You can actually just have a Docker container. You can run it in your local machine. You don't have to do. The only thing you need to do is you need to install the NVIDIA. There's an NVIDIA runtime that you need to install so that you can access your GPU via Docker. Yeah. So that's the easiest way. I'll probably do a video on how to do that very quickly. It just requires you to install certain things. Anyway, going back to the subject at hand. So I'm redefining the get availability for date method here. And I'm just going to put 2 lines of code that convert. So I'm going to copy this code here. I already have it, sorry. Okay, so df. So basically, I'm converting the data in my Panda data frame, and I'm replacing the column availability with a number, as you see here. Also, make sure the data type is correct. Following this method, right? Then follow this again and see if I get the table with the numeric column. Again. Change this. Here, now the availability as a column, a numeric column, and I can filter out easily anything that's not within the criteria that I have defined here. Okay. This method only cares about getting me the availability for a given date. And I can actually implement the logic here to filter anything that doesn't obey my criteria. Which doesn't slots. So number of slots. So way to do a query is to just copy and paste the code I have here, right? It's that line of code here. It's a bit confusing, right? So many like nesting. Here slots. You should get the number of at least one slot. Okay. Scraping. Seems like I haven't really properly converted the data frame yet, and I think this is because I made a mistake here. Slots that have at least one or more slots, right? So availability is should basically I'm not seeing anything that's not fully that's fully booked. Yeah. So I should, because my criteria here is slots equal to one. Yeah, because I didn't pass any value here for slots, it's going to default to one. But if I just say, if I want to override it, I can just say slots equal to 2, for example, if I want 2 chords. And then I will get, well, it's going to do the web scraping now. It only returns slots of time which have enough free chords. Yeah, enough slots. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to filter based on time. So only times that I want to play are going to be checked for. So I don't want to see all this huge list. I still have like too many slots here. I only want to have that, you know, I want to have this like constraint here, earliest time and latest time. So I would say I want to change the earliest time to something like 7 p.m. or something, and then latest time like 9 p.m. here time. So so that's why I use Panda data frame here, even though it's not like it's probably not the most efficient library and not the fastest. For what I'm doing is perfectly fine. I just want to do some complex queries so I can find what I want using criteria. Okay, I had to convert this column to like daytime. I could also make it just numeric, right? Because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But anyway, with daytime it's easier to just I can create a query based on. I really don't care which day it is too much because I already specified in here the dates, right? It's more about the day. I can probably do a query based on the time of the day rather than just the full time. Okay. So I need to go and just check the pandas library and just find some. No, actually daytime. Okay, pandas querying. Query on daytime based on the time of the day. I mean, I don't know for you, but like most of the times when I'm doing something, it's always something I don't do very often. So I always have to go and look at the docs and don't necessarily have everything at the tip of my fingers. So I need to do a bit of search. But I can see, I know I already done some queries on date time. Did queries to get like a range of days that we wanted, right? between time. How convenient. That's actually quite useful. Yeah, so you see, I did a bit of searching and I already have an answer. Well, which I think I do. Between time, start time and end time. And then there's a bunch of options which I can figure out later. There's the deprecation warning here. So if this is I'm not sure if it's for the whole method. Okay, it's just telling me that the arguments start, include start and include end have been deprecated. Okay, so I shouldn't use that. You see, because I've converted the column to a datetime, I should be able to use this method quite easily. See an example, of course. Let's try it. See what happens. For now, copy this into a data frame. Just play with that variable. Yeah, it was between time. Let's do, let's say, oh, we need to have an index. Say time. I need to convert. So I can't use this method directly, right? Because my index needs to be actually a timestamp. I need to use this. Just change it to use that. The timestamp. Okay, let me see if I can just set the data frame index to something else. Simple. Dot index equal to. So let's see if I can just use that method. But that I don't know if I have to actually assign this back to df, or whether this is going to affect just the data frame here. I may have to replace df. There's no, of course not. Index must be date time index. Oh. Data frame. The date time 64. It's very, there's an easy way. I just want to do a query between time. Store it in a variable, not a data frame, then call it indexer between time method. And this returns an integer array which can then be used to select rows from df using iloc. Date time index here. Seems like it works. Okay, so I'm happy. Yeah, I'm not going to waste a lot more time. For now, this is a code that it works, and then I can optimize it later if I want to. But this does the job. So I'm creating an index, and then I'm doing a query based on that index. I guess I don't want to do it here. I want to do it in the place where I'm actually filtering by time, right? Filter by the number of slots, and now I can filter by time. It's done. Like for the actual method in its basic shape. Okay. I need to replace this with should do what I want. So here I'm only specifying, I'm not really filtering based on times, but here it defaults to 8 and the latest is at 9 o'clock. Okay. I can change that default as well. Earliest time. You can see the slots that match my criteria. As you can see, it's not a huge number, right? So I can play, wow. Okay, seems like the only thing I have available is 7 o'clock. Is this including? 15. Just in case it's excluding the start time. Let's see. Excluding and then I can fix it. See sometimes. think it's also because I'm looking for too many slots. Let me just try for one, see if there's anything available within the times that I'm looking for. You see why I need this function, right? It's actually not that easy to find something available. This is only one searching for SITCAP at the moment, but I could also want to search for other locations as well. That's something I can test later. Okay, you see there's 8 o'clock. Days in the future, like that I want to search in advance. In earliest time and latest time, all working, right? Number of slots as well. And what I could do as well, if I want to book 2 hours, if I want to like book 2 hours, then I need to book 2 times. I mean, for now it doesn't really matter, right? But normally we play for 2 hours, right? So I might also want to make sure that there are 2 consecutive slots available, right? For example, one at 8 o'clock, right? And the other one at 9 o'clock, okay? So that's going to reduce as well the number of options I have for sure, right? See here, there's one. So okay. So here it's defaulting to 1. I can use this parameter. So let's say if I want to book for 2 hours, right? See, start. So I need to book one for 7 o'clock. And then if I'm lucky enough to have one at 7 o'clock, then I also need one at 8 o'clock. If I don't have one at 7 o'clock, maybe I only have at 8 o'clock, then I also need to book for 9 o'clock. Yeah. So we make sure this works in terms of logic. To think. Two consecutive. I want to have a count of 2, let's say, for 2 hours. So any given day I pick should have like 2 consecutive days. Thing is, they only book you, they only allow you to book like 1 hour each time, right? So I need to find 2 places I can book 2 slots. One. Could try and convert this perhaps to like 2 hour slots, depending on how much time you want. I could say, okay, I see here and here, these are 2 slots together, they're into to 1. of results, it should be ordered by timestamp, right? From the earliest to the latest. So, given to do, right? I'm thinking out of the box, right? This is the first time I tried to solve this problem. What I could do, I could go through each entry in this table and check the hour that comes next, right? Because I know, okay, let's say I have number of hours. I know how many hours I want to book, right? Let's say 2 hours. Then I know if this one is here, that means because it's already obeying my criteria, it will already fit what I want. So I can just say, okay, I want this one, but then I also want to check if the one for the next hour is also available. And then I can just then maybe do like, instead of just one, I could just check. So I can add an additional column that says, okay, how much time we can actually play in, you know, like, let's say maximum duration of something or something like that, right? So I can just go and calculate the maximum duration for any time I select. I know it's only 1 hour I can book at each time, but then it will always be the case that if I book at 8 o'clock, maybe I have a slot also at 9 o'clock, which comes right after, right? Okay, this is different days, but like if you look at this one and here, right? This is something that would match our criteria, right? If I book this one, then I will have a number here that tells me that the one after is also available. So I could list this as my start time because I know that I can play for 2 continuous hours. Yeah. Item in the table, I can say, give me the hour that comes next. So if it's 9 o'clock, this one, then give me the slot for 10 o'clock. And then I check in this table to see if the slot is there. And if it's there, then I will basically say, okay, this is good. So I need to define a function. I can apply a function to each item in a Panda data frame. Let's see. It gets a little bit more complicated, but it's more fun, to be honest. This is actually a problem that it's interesting. It's not as straightforward. Only before applying functions to the data frame. Functions I've used in the past, so I don't have to always search for things every time I want to do something. So examples. This one shows you that you can actually apply a function that takes a number and square it. Calculates the square root of that number. But this only takes the actual fixes the actual value of the column. It's the index, so I can look up the item based on the index. So here we have an example. Let's copy this example. It's simple. You could also apply a lambda function, but this probably makes something difficult to read. And with this one here, it's easier. Okay. What I want to do, it's duration, okay? So for each row, I'm going to calculate how much time can I just stay continuously playing, yeah, without having to wait for the last thing you want is to go and play 1 hour and then you have to wait for another hour to play another hour, right? So we want to continuously play. If I have a row, okay, I can get the time equal to row, okay? So this is going to be my start time. I need to figure out which one it is, right? So what I will do, I will so the duration, put the duration as a variable. Just going to hard code it here, okay? Duration equal to, let's say, 3. I'm going to make it 3, so it's a bit. Actually, I just don't want to hard code this. For duration equal to 2, right? So if I know start time is already available, right? Okay, for now, I'm just going to leave it like this. It's 1 hour that I want to do it. Okay, but this probably doesn't. This doesn't compile for sure. Yeah. Okay. So while end time minus start time should be like the duration, right? I'm just creating an algorithm here. And then sure. Repeat. Basically, we're going to keep searching for the next slot, right? So for the next slot, I need to find a row where start time plus none. So if this next row is available or not, right? It might not even exist, right? Data frame. The idea is to check, is this available? Does it exist? Just make it. Check for each subsequent slot, right? So once I get to a point where there is no availability, then I stop. Start time. Because I decrement. I mean, like if it's 3 hours, right? We already know each row already has 1 hour, so it will always be two. That's going to be the number of additional hours that we want to search for example, right? So if I do max duration -1 at the very start of each iteration, that should actually cover me for this, that I only want to start with two anyway. Okay, so this is a way to decrement this variable by 1. So I'm saying max duration minus equal to 1 means like I'm decrementing 1 from max duration. Okay. Now all of this here is for now, it doesn't compile. This is just me to explain what I'm trying to do. So what I'm going to do is basically in each iteration, I'm going to search for the next available time. And in a quart, it's going to be per hour. Like it starts at, for example, always starts either at 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, right? So I know if I have, for example, 9 o'clock, then I can search for the 10 o'clock slot and see if it still is available or not. Okay, for this is for this website. They only book slots of like hours, right? They don't book like half an hour or anything like that. But if you have that kind of website, you can also adapt this to that, right? So next time, it's going to be, okay, here I can actually start making sure this will make sense. So I have the start time already. That's going to be a date time object. And I can get you see time delta. That's what I wanted to do. So I can actually do this. Max time equal to start time plus date time delta. And instead of saying days here, I'm going to say hours. I'm going to say 1. Yeah. Get the next time. Then I can do a query on my data frame based on the time slot. So how do I do that? I'm going to just copy and paste another example I have here. See if it's available or not. just try and get this to run. I'm going to comment out this code, and I'm going to return max duration for now. Max duration is going to return, yeah? This is going to always be free, doesn't matter. You can see, right? The column is being added. Okay, it's always defaulting to 3, but that's for testing, right? And then what we have now is start time equal to load time. Let's make sure this compiles as well. Compiles, doesn't throw an error. Then I have my for loop. See things right. It's easier to develop. Okay, right now I'm not. Okay, I'm just going to compile this one. Print stuff, right? Just to see what's going on. So print next time. Time is not defined. Where is it going in time? Because this is in a for loop. Let's do a while through for now. I'll break this. Go straight away. Okay, so you can see here, I'm printing the next times. And then you have 10, 10. Okay, you see. So this is working. I need to test if it's working. Is this filter here? I'm going to print that as well. This is like indices. See, this is like an array, and each element in an array is true or false, meaning whether it matches. Basically, this is based on the number of items in our data frame. Okay, and this is what this is used to filter then the data frame. So I could just do a filter out. See this one. Do is see if there's any results. It should be something like size or length. Actually, I guessed it right, but it doesn't need brackets. It's an attribute. Print it. See, right? It's 5 here. How is that? It shouldn't return 5. It should return. This is not good. Then what is Seems like I'm using the wrong method. So if I use count, whether it's empty or not, I don't care if it's actually. T is equal to true. T equal to false is the one which has one item here. This is what we got. Okay, so if we find anything if okay, so we can actually start doing this. I don't care if it's always going to be a finite duration, right? So I don't really care about the max duration, do I? So I have while true. So incrementing the duration, okay? Great. Here. checking whether it has any item, any like availability in that hour, right? So I'm checking if there's at least one matching element for the next hour. Okay. If there is one, then I'll say, okay, duration plus equal to one, right? So for example, if I have a slot 1 hour available, then and if I find the next slot is also available, then I'll do plus one. Yeah. And it'll be 2 hours and then so on. I'll keep going until I don't find anything available. At the end, I return the duration. Don't even have to make sure I'm updating the next time. Yeah. Next time I go into the loop here, then I'll be checking for the next hour and the next hour until I don't find anything though. We can do at the end we return the total of the duration. You can see here, right? There is a max duration of 2 hours in this slot, which is what we expect. So at 8 o'clock, I can book for 2 hours and I have 2 slots available, which is awesome, right? The nice thing about, I'm actually doing the filtering on a query that I already know obeys all the other conditions I had. And the only thing I'm trying to find is consecutive slots, which I can use and book in one go. So I have now a method that does what I want. And I can use this. Here I've okay, filter by desired duration. Bigger or equal to, so change that in a second. So duration will be bigger than or equals. for 1 hour time slots, right? Thank you so much for the feedback, developer projects. Uh, Exploration. Same. Nothing to do with the number of. I don't have any real blockchain or Web3 programming experience, but I'm interested in learning, of course. Will change from true to. Sounds like a very interesting way to learn, right? You want to create a Discord bot to send a webhook request, open NFT sales. Yeah. Yeah, if you have access to the API that allows you to receive the event whenever there's something that's sold. I think there's a few marketplaces, right? OpenSea, but that's only name. Unless you're planning to actually use the blockchain, and the blockchain probably has a function that allows you to register to events, right? It sounds like a good idea. Which API are you planning to use for this? Do you have any API specifically? Are you planning to just do web scraping? So OpenSea, right? I'm aware of it because actually I do have some kind of I'm not directly involved with the Web3, but I know about it, right? And the question is, are you using their API? And I know it's very hard to get the API keys now from OpenSea, right? Just going to do web scraping. And you're right. I think you are on the money, basically. Data, you can gather data about Web3 and that can make you money if you know how to sell it. Here. So does your API key allow you to do like, I don't know, one request per second? Filtering is not working properly. Yeah, yeah, that's right. So yeah, your biggest struggle will try. I mean, you can gather the data. I think you have a good idea there. And if you don't need any more, uh, you don't need to do too. If you don't need to make requests too frequently, then you are good. And you definitely want to making some kind of API. Just save the data somewhere because it will become valuable. API keys, right? Yes. You should always save the data that you gather because you might not be able to get it again. And then if you already saved the data that you've gathered, you don't have to ask for it again. And trust me on this. Like if you save that data in I don't know, and if you gather, if you save that data, it become more valuable as well because at some point in the future, people won't be able to get it again. Shouldn't save everything in the database. You just should save the things that are essential. You kind of need to understand what people want. That's probably going to be an expiry date on how long the information is going to be useful for. Then here, it doesn't work here. Because I'm doing should just do this query outside the data frame. Outside the forward loop, that's what I mean. So should do it here. So the last filter I need to do. Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a future as a developer, I think you should definitely be learning NFTs, Web3, but also make sure you learn Web2, right? So if you know Web2, Python is definitely very good. You should definitely learn Google Cloud, or I think more than AWS, because Google Cloud is good for like anything related to data engineering. It's you have BigQuery, you have Google, right? They're very good at that, and you can also get good jobs. Probably 1 second. So, to get this, using the right variable. To put all those data frames together. I do it here. So all I've been showing you here is how to scrape data. I haven't really showed yet how to store it. And, that's probably as important. You gather the data, you can save it somewhere, and then you can maybe create an API for anyone who wants to consume the data. And I've seen people doing that. Like there's companies that specialize in that. They gather, for example, data even from YouTube, right? And they make it available via an API or some kind of web service. Finish this now. Bro, Duration is here. Oh, don't need this. Okay, it's already been calculated, so it's all good. So now I can just change my method, right? I can say this, which allow me to play for 2 hours. Nice. Yeah, there's some smart people out there. Right, so we have here so for today. This is what I wanted to do for today, right? So I have now a method that allows me to get the data I need and with the criteria that I need. Yeah. And I wanted to play for 2 hours and I found a slot here on the, that's like on Thursday at 8 o'clock. So I could just go on a website and book it for 2 hours. And what I can now do, and maybe that's what I'm going to do the next time, I'm going to try and make this run inside the Docker container. There won't be a browser in this Docker container, so I have to run Chrome in headless mode. That's going to be fun. You won't be able to see the browser like I can see now, right? I can see it here. It's actually going to be hidden because there's not going to have, the server I'm going to run this is not going to have a graphical user interface. So I'll have to run Chrome in headless mode and it should still work. Of course, I always have to make sure that if it fails, I should know about it. And I hope, yeah. All right. So thank you so much for joining the live stream. And I hope you found this session of coding useful. I kind of didn't do any, I didn't filter anything I did. You just saw me coding. Yeah. All right. I'll see you again in the future. Happy coding.